Hi, this is Phil Newman from Longevity.Technology, and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by President of the Geneva College of Longevity Science, Dominic Thorpe. Dominic, hey.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Oh, well, Dominic, it's a pleasure to have you here. And I guess the interesting thing is that we've now got growth in the whole longevity economy, and you've now got the new Executive Master of Science in Longevity program that you're running, which is amazing. So maybe you could talk us a little bit more about that today.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a distance learning program for professionals, a postgraduate program that takes 2 semesters, ideally, to complete. It consists of 10 courses plus a master thesis that you write at the end. And these courses, they really cover all the different aspects of longevity, starting, of course, with the biological mechanisms of aging as we understand them today, going into the hallmarks of aging, describing the problems, so to speak, that we want to address by different forms of intervention. And of course, we also cover the different types of intervention in our courses. So medical/pharmaceutical, lifestyle, and many other aspects that I think are essential to longevity in the broader sense that we understand it. So we know that, of course, things like sleep, exercise, nutrition, even psychological aspects really influence our health span and lifespan. And this is what we want to educate people about. And then, of course, there are other aspects like how does it influence society? What are maybe financial aspects to longevity, as in how do we finance our lives that may get longer, and also cover things like which may be good projects to back.
Yeah, and I guess the thing is that there's a lot of this information is available all around the internet, and people are putting this together perhaps themselves. So would you say that this is really the first time that this has been put together in a master's level course to support people from a clinical background, but also I'm assuming non-clinical by some of the things you've been saying there?
Yes, absolutely. So this is the thing. When I started out getting in touch with longevity science like 12 years ago, I was looking as any newcomer to the field for information. And back then, of course, the number of books and platforms and internet web pages on that subject was maybe less dense, and we have some very good ones out there. But of course, in terms of academic education, the numbers, the options that we have are limited. Of course, there are courses for medical doctors and so on. But if you don't have the life science background, I think you are very limited. And there is definitely a need for academic education in this field. And I hope we can play our part in that.
Yeah, and so I guess when you're talking about clinicians, these would be medically trained individuals coming into the longevity field. But are there non-clinicians going to be attending the course? People perhaps working from within large food conglomerates or big corporates.
Yeah, definitely. So, of course, there is a big interest by medical doctors to expand their various fields. Very often, experts in internal medicine that really are jumping on the train, so to speak, of longevity, and they seek further education, which is excellent. So, we need good doctors to get us in shape and help us, protect our health. But at the same time, I think we need a lot of decision makers in other areas also to get educated about longevity, because ultimately this is a field that really profits from more awareness and more investment. So by that, I mean that we also want to educate financial analysts, to get the ability to back the right projects, because it's really difficult to assess early stage biotech companies by just taking financial numbers. And then, of course, you have these policymakers that shape our healthcare system wherever you live. And I think for them, it's also very important to get a better understanding of longevity science. So this is why we founded GCLS, to really give an educational platform to all these people and not to restrict that knowledge to just one group of people.
That's interesting. So you are mixing really quite disparate skill sets together within the program. And you mentioned that there are different modules. So I guess are these going from the clinical sphere into more of the economic sphere of longevity?
Yeah, you're completely right. It's of course a challenge when you put this together, but if you think about it, longevity science really is a mix of so many scientific disciplines, and it affects so many areas of our life that we felt the need that we also resemble that in our curriculum. So, because we don't know exactly the prior knowledge people have when they go into the program, we start by educating them about the basics of biology that relates to aging. And I think this starts in a very easy and understandable manner. So we don't want to lose our audience, so to speak. And then, of course, we go into areas that are more complex, like what we can do today, or maybe looking towards future applications, because I think a lot of the interesting stuff that is happening has great potential, but of course, it's still at a very early stage. So I think it's important to get people to understand, okay, what are the things that we can do now, and where are areas where we see tons of potential and great new technologies being developed, and also being able to I don't like the word, snake oil, but we've seen so many things out there that sound incredible, I think, to average consumers. But I think you need to have a certain level of understanding to be able to differentiate between what's out there and works, what could be potentially good for you, and what is just, well, gibberish, so to speak. And therefore, I think we want to cover all of these different aspects.
Okay, and I saw that you've got a pretty stellar team. So presumably these are the people that are going to be navigating the course materials, and I assume updating the course materials as the sector starts to progress, as it has done over the last few years, because this is going to be changed in a year's time, I would imagine.
Yes, it's quickly evolving. So I think even now we are already updating the materials in the courses, despite just having launched 2 weeks ago, because there
Right.
is new things happening every day, so to speak. And of course, this is only possible with a great team, and we are very happy to got the help, attention, and participation of people that are real experts in their various fields. So they have different backgrounds. We
Yeah.
have, of course, medical professionals that maybe come from more from the practical application of these findings. Then we have basic scientists that really work on a cellular level in animal studies, etc. And we even have some experts more geared towards maybe the psychological aspects or some policy aspects of longevity, because this is really something that we shouldn't be missing out on. It's really important that we don't limit ourselves to just the biological education. I think there are many other aspects of longevity that are important to us, because we all know when we look at blue zones, right, what really makes people age there well or in a manner that we maybe want to mimic, it's also social interaction and other aspects.
Hmm. Yeah. So I guess that those that are interested in joining your course, I guess you're recruiting now, and when will the course start, and how long does it run for?
So basically, we have our first cohort of students starting already in June, so not far off now. But we have an online distance learning program, and the idea for that was that we said, okay, I think at this point, when it's us, advising people how to get into the longevity sector, we would probably tell them, well, maybe start with studying biology or medicine, and I think this is a very good approach. And then you start getting interested and connect with other experts and read up on what's happening. And at some point, you want to do a postgraduate degree. And the same goes when you are not in healthcare science. You have some prior knowledge that gives you some professional link to longevity. This is what I see when I visit conferences. So it's people from other places that came in touch with this. And therefore, for us, it was very important to really do this and offer a professional program for people that have some pre-existing link to it. But at the same time, we knew that these professionals, they can't relocate to Switzerland for a full year of studies. So we had to offer an online program at the beginning. And I think we have a very, very good system in place where people can do learning on their own time. We do have live classes, we have meetups once per semester. But the idea is really to give you a program that helps you learn more, get a better understanding, and do it while you pursue your own career.
Yeah, and so at the end of this, your students will get a master's in longevity science, which is
Science.
obviously very appealing for everybody.
Well, we definitely hope so. It's the first program of its kind, and we really called it longevity science because it covers all the different angles that we see at the moment, and it's really something that we are going to expand further together with the help of our lecturers and the staff to really offer more and more and get people the option maybe to specialize in the future, as you mentioned before, focusing maybe more on the medical aspects versus the financial, societal aspects.
Great. Well, Dominic, thanks so much for joining us today, and of course, best of luck to you, your colleagues, and your first cohort. Look forward to seeing how they all get on.
Yes, thank you, Phil, very, very much for having me.